God gave me a couple paths: preach, protect, and provide. I couldn't preach, and I could protect, but I couldn't provide. And I was like, I will never in my life experience that feeling again. And that's when it all started. But I'm telling you, everything you see in a grocery store, for the most part, I would say 97 to 98% of the things you see in the grocery store are only there because of the price, and that's it. Well, and you sit there, if you think about it from the customer journey,
yeah,
there's only a couple reasons somebody quits buying from you, You piss them off or you quit selling to them.
You're listening to the Radcast. If it's radical, we cover it. Here's your host, Ryan Alford.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the latest edition of the Radcast. I'm Ryan Alford, your host. Today, we're bringing the heat. We're bringing all the heat. We're bringing all that barbecue heat with my friend Kosmo from Kosmo's Q. What's up, Kosmo?
What's going on, Ryan, man? Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, man, my pleasure. Your people hit my people who hit me. I'm like, I'm going to talk to Kosmo. Kosmo blowing up, got all the YouTube videos going. He's got everything I love, which is damn steaks, and I'm a meat guy. I'm like carnivore city over here. I'm like, damn, I gotta get me some Kosmo on the podcast.
You're speaking to my soul right
yes,
now.
It is South Carolina boy. We got that. I don't know, the North Carolina South Carolina thing. They always say I'm a vinegar based barbecue guy. I don't know if that was North Carolina, South Carolina, or somewhere in between, but I guess my mom was from Fayetteville, North Carolina, so maybe that's where I got it from.
Yeah. I tell you what, I made that in my house probably 15 years ago. Straight vinegar base. I made a test batch, and I've never been able to make it in my house again. My wife will not allow that.
I don't know what it is. You either love it or you hate it, I guess. The tang.
I don't know what it is, but man, that stuff sets in the walls, and it's hard to get out. But I think
the vinegar, the smell. Yeah. But see, I like if you like it, you like that smell. Like it brings. I'm like my mouth's watering thinking about barbecue. But I think I've probably found somewhere in the middle because now they've got it's vinegar based, but it's got like half sauce, half vinegar. I don't know.
Yeah. Somebody put tomato paste in there, and they said we'll ease it up a little bit.
Yeah, but I will say I'm a equal opportunity barbecue eater. I've rarely met a sauce I didn't like.
Have you tried any of ours?
No, dude. No.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I'm gonna change your life forever.
Oh, well, we'll see. I'm open. I'm ready. I'm willing.
I'm gonna send you something.
I know. I've heard nothing but great things. But so what's going on in Oklahoma?
Man, just the heat right now.
Yeah.
We're just out here, slinging rub, selling sauce,
Yeah.
I
know you got a crazy story. We're talking to Kosmo from KosmosQ.com. Talk to me, Kosmo. Your story's pretty fascinating. I love I don't know, rags to riches. I don't ever like when someone says that necessarily about me, but like I came from the lower middle class myself, and I love I don't know, maybe the David and Goliath, which is the way it was phrased on your website. But let's talk a little bit about your story, man.
Well, my story started way back in 1971 when I was born, and I'll give you the brief version right now. I was burned as a child at 17 months old, and I spent the majority of my adolescence growing up in the Shriners Burn Institute in Galveston, Texas. So needless to say, I'm not going to say school wasn't the top of, my list, but school wasn't the top of my list. Like, I woke up usually every day in some sort of pain from this, that, or surgery or whatever. So I wasn't that good at school. And as I started getting older and, I just realized that Man, I'm different. And I was always told, sit down, shut up, you're wrong, do this, follow the rules. Why can't you follow the rules? Go sit in the corner, you're in detention. Like, I was always finding myself in trouble. And I just never could understand why, because I would sit there and look at somebody. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs probably do this. They sit there and they watch somebody do something, and inside their head they go, well, that's dumb.
Yeah. No,
You know,
I've spent my whole life doing that.
and and I would, but unfortunately, I didn't have the ability to just keep that in my head. It would also exit my mouth, which ended up getting me in a lot of trouble. So I ended up leaving school. I think it was 11th grade. I think I showed up for my 12th grade year and stayed about 45 minutes, and I was like, nah, I'm out of here. So I ended up just working, working the factories and, partying and hanging out and having a good time. And then started raising a family. And then I was like, well, all this has got to end. And I was like, what do old people do? I was probably 32 at the time. Now I'm old people. I'm officially old people now. So I was like, what do old people do? I was like, well, shit. You freaking wake up, you put some meat on the smoker and you mow the yard and you weed eat and you trim trees and stuff. So that's what I did. And I remember I bought my very first smoker, and I went down to Walmart and bought it, and bought a chicken, and I bought a beef chuck for some reason. Like, I don't even know what I think. Beef chuck, some Eckrich sausage, and I put all this stuff in there, and I mowed the yard. I just fought this thing all day long. And we sat down to have dinner. My wife and I and our 3 kids, and it was absolute garbage. Like, it was unedible. Ryan, I'm telling you right now, the only thing I could equate it to was if you drug a piece of tree bark through dog manure and then put it was bad. But I'll never forget that. But what really stuck with me is I had to throw it away. And I'll never forget the look in my wife's eyes. Like, this is funny, but this rocked my soul as she lifted the dumpster open and I was throwing it away. And I just felt like I can't provide for my family.
Right.
Like, God gave me a couple tasks: preach, protect, and provide. I couldn't preach, I could protect, but I couldn't provide. And I was like, I will never in my life experience that feeling again. And that's when it all started.
I love it, man. And provide, you can buy it, but you got to learn to cook it. Reminded me of my mom trying to cook a burger or something. Just doesn't work.
Yeah, it did not work for me. It did not work for me, but eventually I started getting a little bit better.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And then I thought, well, man, I saw something on TV and they had these barbecue competitions. This is before the internet. There's no YouTube, no Facebook was around, but that was in its
infancy.
Early, infancy. YouTube wasn't even around. And so there's no place to go and look. There was no place to find this information. So I was watching something and I saw a competition on TV and I thought, well, shit, I could do that. So I loaded up the minivan, went down there and I'll tell you, 2 trailer loads in my minivan, 2 trips full of everything from garden hoses to chimeneas. That's a funny story. I'll tell you that sometime. And ended up winning ribs. Couldn't believe it. Won ribs. And I was hooked. And I started competing from there on out. And yeah.
How did you, I read, watching my videos and all that, I was reading up, at the time in your first competitions, you were mixing, maybe blending others' things together. Is that right? Even in your first win? Was it kind of like Frankenstein, in your laboratory, mixing things up from other people?
Yep. Yep. So in my head, it started like I would go to the store and I would buy, like 2 barbecue sauces, and I would
Yep.
say, what happens if you mix these? Um, and I would try that. And then I would try mixing some honey with it, or some molasses with it, or something to sweeten it up.
Yep.
And that's when it hit me, man. You really don't have that many options in a grocery store. I mean, you think you do, but I'm telling you, everything you see in a grocery store, for the most part, 90, I would say 97 to 98% of the things you see in the grocery store are only there because of the price, and that's it.
Hmm.
It has nothing to do with the taste or the quality of it.
Is it purely because they could buy it at a low enough rate to resell it?
Bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bingo. And that's when I thought, man, I'll start making some of my own. So I made some rubs and did this, that, and the other thing. And then that's when I really found out that, like, man, this is the craziest thing. And I remember the first time I told somebody this out loud. I thought, man, they're gonna think I'm absolute a psychopath. But I can, in my head, I can taste the flavor in my head before I ever have it on my tongue.
When you're making it?
I don't even have to be making it. Currently we have a cherry habanero barbecue sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if anybody's ever tried to make a barbecue sauce with sweet fruit. It's hard. It's really, really hard. Try to mix a tomato and a cherry and make it taste good. It's difficult. Like I told him, I said, man, my buddy, he's a food scientist. And I told him, I said, dude, I have this flavor stuck in my head. And I want you to close your eyes and I want you to taste a barbecue sauce, but it tastes like the best cherry pie you've ever had in your life. And he was like, he didn't understand it. But then it took us 18 months to make that barbecue sauce. 18 months and 3 different forms of cherries. Because cherries aren't all the same. There's sweet cherries, there's sour cherries, and there's cherry concentrate, there's cherry sweetener. It's just. But after we did that, I was like, okay, like when I tasted the final version and it matched what I had inside my head, I was like, okay, this is a gift. This is a gift from God, and I'm going to try to use it to the best of my ability, which was very little at the time.
What is it? So is most, educate myself and the listeners, if I'm tasting sweet sauces, I mean, and I know ketchup plays a big role. Is it mainly sugar that's just made it sweet? I mean, is it, or, like when you say fruit's hard to get, you think of fruit being sweet when you eat it, but translating that into a sweet sauce, is most of what we taste that's sweet in most sauces just sugar?
Yes. Yeah. Most of them are sugar. And I know sugar is, sugar in moderation isn't bad.
Yeah.
Eating a bottle of sugar, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what, you got to tell people. Like, and it's crazy, people say, well, some of your sauces are pretty sweet. And I'm like, yeah, but if you're sitting down having, 4 to 6, Mountain Dews a day, believe you me, I'm the least of your worries.
Yeah.
But you can sweeten it with sugar. That's what we use. We use all natural sugar.
Yep.
The fruit also sweetens it. And then there's also other sweeteners out there, high fructose corn syrup. Which we don't use that. And then there's all the chemical versions that are supposed to be good for diabetics.
Stevia, you got all the natural, like supposedly natural, but I don't know that it's any of it's natural anymore. But no artificial sweeteners, I guess.
Artificial
sucralose, all that stuff. So we transitioned from using others to making our own. Talk to me about how Kosmo's Q, that once we started transitioning, when did we start making our own?
So I started making my own. As I started competing a little bit more, I started toying around with rubs because I realized that the rub, it makes the meat. The sauce is like the whipped cream on top. But the rubs I was getting in the store were they just weren't good. And
Yeah.
I wanted if I wanted ribs to taste a little bit sweet, I wanted to add some brown sugar to my rub. I couldn't
Right.
get that in the store. It was salt, and that was pretty much all that was in it was salt.
Yep.
But then there's I wanted like a smoked paprika with a cumin or something like that. I wanted so I started making my own, and I started competing, and I would win here and there, and people would ask me, "Hey man, what like your brisket really tastes good? Like what was that rub?" I was like, "Oh, it's this rub I made." And they like, "You mind if I get some?" I said, "Well, yeah, I'll sell you a pound or 2 pounds or 5 pounds."
Sure.
So I I would just sell them rub and ship it out on PayPal, or just have them pay me through
Yeah.
PayPal. And the day the company started, though, is there back in the day there was two injection companies that pretty much owned the market on beef injection for competition. And I was using one of them, and this person happened to be at a competition I was at, and I just couldn't get it to taste right. It just didn't taste right to me. Like to me, it just didn't taste right. So I walked over to him, and I should preface this story. He's actually a friend of mine now, and I don't know. I've never, he may have heard this story through somebody else, but he's a really good guy. I just probably caught him at a bad time in his day, but nevertheless, this is a story, and this is what happened. And I walked up to him and I said, "Hey man, I'm using your injection here, and man, it's just not coming out the way I'm trying to thin it down. It seems a little strong, or this, that, and the other." I said, "You got any advice for me?" He said, "Yeah." And he was standing inside of his trailer at the barbecue competition with the door open with his arm. And he said, "Yeah, read the directions." And he shut the door in front of me. And dude, I'm telling you right now, that went. I was humiliated and embarrassed. B, I'm a customer. Like, I bought this from you. And this is and that's what really started the company. I said, okay, well, if he won't help me fix this injection, I'll make my own. And that's what I did. I tracked down a company that could help me, and they told me absolutely they'd be willing to help me, and they would sell me. I think it was 100 pounds at the time, and I didn't have no money. I think at the time I was working. I was working a route job, just driving a hazardous waste truck around. So they asked me. They said, "Okay, what's the name of your company?" And I didn't have a name of the company. I had no name. Like Kosmo was my nickname. And on the barbecue circuit, you would say like Cosmos Q, for Cosmos Barbecue.
Yeah.
Some people, the big pizza heads call it ZA, just ZA for pizza. They just call it ZA. So I said, it's Cosmos Q. I didn't have no company. I was praying to God he didn't ask me for anything else, because I had nothing.
Yeah.
The next thing he asked me was, how am I going to pay? And I was just put on the spot, and I said, I'm putting it on my credit card. And my wife did not know this at the time, so I put the $500 order on my credit card, and the product came in, and she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, we're in the injection business now." And she said, "How'd you get this?" I said, "I put it on the credit card." I said, "Don't worry." I said, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it, and whatever I sell will pay for this, and not only will it pay for this, it will buy the next batch, and then the next batch, and then we'll just keep going from there. And that is the one and only time I ever took a loan from this company, and I took it from a credit card.
That's fascinating, man. That not many people could say that, and the fact that it just took one, and then it went from there. You did what you said you're going to do. I like more. There was a lot to unpack there. I like more that nothing starts a better business than a scorned customer.
Oh. Well, and you sit there, if you think about it from the customer journey,
Yeah.
there's only a couple reasons somebody quits buying from you, You piss them off or you quit selling to them,
Yeah. That's right.
you know?
Man, it was A for you. And then you went ahead and started your own. But it just goes to show you, man. I mean, life's short. Like I have little patience for anybody that just can't give somebody the time of day or help somebody, especially when they're there. I mean, you're there in front of them. I mean, he can't give you 2 minutes to tell you how to, cut something down or do something a little different. It sounds like he's maybe had a bad day or learned from his ways, but at the same time, there's a lesson to be learned there. People will. There's a saying: people will forget what you say, but they'll always remember how you made them feel.
Yep.
And
No, you're exactly right. You are exactly right. And, I'm sure if he had a take back that day, he would take it back. But, would we have started the company? I don't know.
yeah,
I know I was never thinking, 50 million in sales. I was
right.
never thinking that.
Yeah. Is that
I
where
was
we're
just
at?
pissed off. I was just pissed off and
Is
aggravated.
that where we're at now these days?
We may have crossed 50 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have.
What
No,
was
I
the
know we
official
have.
start date of the company?
It was, 2009. I don't know the exact date. When they always ask me that on the, on any kind of form, like, when did
Yeah.
you incorporate? I always put January 1st. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So
So,
yeah, it was in 2009 is when we incorporated, and that's when I started my website building service that lasted for the next probably 6, 7, 8 years. And we actually built an e-commerce site, before e-commerce was even a thing. There was no e-commerce site,
yep.
and I had a WordPress. I think it was not a word. It was just a blog,
Yeah.
and then I would just put pictures up there with a little, little description, and then I figured out how to put a PayPal button on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just put that little PayPal button on there, and that's how I shipped orders. And we shipped them out of my hallway closet. It was just a little, you got the 3 drawers and then the cabinets on the top. That's where my whole shipping operation was for, probably 2 years.
Right out of the house. That's a lot of these stories though. That's the game, man. And you start slow, low, and you grow from there once you build the customer base. I mean, what's been the marketing and business growth practices? I mean, like I imagine it's a very, I don't want to say niche audience, but going to the shows and winning the awards, imagine that amplifies, within that core audience, and then it kind of the word of mouth goes from there, I would think.
The crazy thing is I did it for years and years. Ended up winning the world championship. Ended up between myself and the teams we sponsor, we have 8 or 9 world champions. So I mean, I've been to the Jack Daniels, American Royal, Memphis in May, Houston, San Antonio. Like we've been everywhere. But for me, I remember sitting there at a competition, and this is before this is really before marketing as we know it was marketing as we know it.
Right.
Like Facebook said, we're going to let you run ads. And it was like they told us that week, and then I was sitting at a competition that weekend, and it's back then it was about $1,000 a weekend to go to a competition. After you buy your meat, fuel, all the things, it's about $1,000. And I was sitting there, and I ain't gonna lie, I get angry and shit changes in my life. That's when usually for the worst, but this one for the good. I was sitting there, and I was like, I'm sitting here by myself. My family's not even with me, so I'm not happy, and I'm paying $1,000 to be unhappy. What would happen if I took that money and I started running ads to my website, just promoting my website? And back then it was like, I'm sure you remember it, Ryan. It's back then. It's like, hey, look at me, go here. There was no funnel. There was none of that.
No, you didn't need a funnel because it was ripe for the taking. You had organic reach on Facebook. You ran ads and boof, like a bonfire.
So that's what I did. I started the next week running ads with absolutely, I don't think anybody knew what they were doing when they were running Facebook ads in the early day. We were just, it was just, when Facebook said, hey, we'll show you to 1 million people, they wasn't kidding, you know? And then I was like, holy crap, man, this actually works. So I kept that shit secret. I didn't tell nobody.
You weren't sharing that secret. Yeah. You kept that off the barbecue circuit.
You wouldn't go hear me talking about that. So.
I'll give you that brown sugar, but I'm keeping them Facebook ads. That's too funny. It isn't quite as easy anymore, no, on Facebook.
The game has changed.
Now there's 100 different platforms, and it's all about content, which I know you've done. You've been in the YouTube game, for a while. Got over 300,000 followers on YouTube, and doing your, I see you on the video, doing the video thing, which we encourage clients to do. We have to pull teeth to get clients to, engage with that stuff. Looks like you've been pretty successful.
Yeah, I think back in the day, and once again, like I'm not sitting here trying to say like, I do something. I didn't know anything. All I know is I'm going that way, and if something stops me, I'll go under, over, around, through. I don't care. I'm going. And I was sitting there, and I was like, why? Like, if putting myself in the customer's shoes, if I could ask the guy that rejected, me when I was asking for advice, what would I say to him?
Yeah.
And all I was looking for was just, I wasn't looking for secrets. I was just looking for the next step. Like, can you help me to barbecue better? And it hit me. I was like, I don't need to push my product on you, because I'm not a pushy guy. I hate car salesmen when they're, oh, is this your first time visiting? I hate that, man. I'm like, hey, let's have a conversation. Get people to know, like, and trust you. And I'm sure every marketer's heard that for years now. But like that was inside my head, years ago. And I was like, why don't we just have a conversation? This is how I do barbecue. So I went and bought a camera, and I was hell bent. And if you've ever watched any of my old videos, oh my gosh, they are bad. But it started the conversation.
Yep.
And I just wanted to what I have, I want to give it to you freely. Take it, don't take it, but just know that if you want to know how to cook a steak that won me $10,000, here's the recipe.
Yeah. You learned early what a lot of people struggle to learn, which is it's not about pushing the product. It's about helping people and educate or entertain. Yeah. And the business comes with it, Yes. Like it follows behind. It may not be as immediate as the cash register ringing, but it builds that relationship with thousands, if not millions, of people that you have never met. They get to know you, like, and trust you before they meet you. And so many people struggle with that. They just, they have, it's the card to their mentality, offer, product, price. And
well, that's the easy thing.
Yeah.
That's easy to do.
Yeah.
The hardest thing to do is to take on probably the worst person in your life, and that's your inner self telling you that you can't do it, you shouldn't do it. Why would anybody listen to you? You don't know what you're doing. And just so everybody knows, we all feel that way. I'm the CEO of this company, and I have no clue what I'm doing. All I know is that, what got me here, I just need to keep pushing forward, and I'm going to make mistakes, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It's 100% okay.
Our egos get in the way. Everybody's got
yeah.
ego, like that's the biggest hurdle. It's like, it's cliche, but they say, the biggest hurdle is the mirror,
Mm-hmm.
and we're all like self-conscious, or you think this, you think that. And, but at the end of the day, people want to know people, they like your product. They're going to use your rub. They're going to use, whatever you're doing, but they like, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right.
But yeah, man. So you started YouTubing, telling people how to cook good steaks, and I'm sure that just like it looks like, the crowd came along.
Yeah, the crowd came along, and man, it was. I never thought that I would own a company, and I remember driving home one day, and I was I hated my job. The people were nice, but I physically hated my job. On Sunday, the Sunday night, I would like physically get sick to my stomach because I didn't want to go back.
Oof, that's
And
brutal.
I had a friend of mine tell me one time, he's a Navy SEAL. He said, "Do you know what happens when you die?" I was like, "No, how the hell would I know that?" He says, "Most people think that their life flashes before their eyes. But what really flashes before your eyes is all of your regrets." And I was driving home, and I thought, if I laid my head down and had 5 minutes only with my thoughts, what would I think? And I just imagine, like I could see it, like I visualize myself laying there, taking my last breath with my family around me. And when I pass, I do not want the thought to be in my head, why didn't you even try?
Yeah, man, it's powerful when you start like thinking about it, and you think about how fast time moves, and like you got one shot at this.
Yeah, one shot, and you're gonna mess up a lot, and that's okay. But so that's when I was like, I quit my job. I'll never forget. I asked my wife. I said, "Hey, I'm thinking about quitting my job." She's like, "It's about time,"
That surprised you that she said that?
Yes, it did. It did. But once again, we go back. I had a prejudged thought in my head that wasn't factual. It wasn't reality. It wasn't true.
Yeah.
That was me telling me a story I wanted to hear, so I could stay in my comfort zone and not seek discomfort. Mm-hmm. And then she said that, and I was like, "Shit,"
Now I got to go. Now
Yeah,
you got to do it.
go.
You got to take that first step. So where do we go after the injection stuff? We got rubs. We got, Kosmo's Q's got quite the lineup now.
Yeah, after the rubs and the sauces, I was sitting around one day. We used to go to eat wings quite a bit, and I was like, "Man, these guys absolutely dump way too much sauce on these wings, and it's just everywhere,
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my gosh, I wish it would be nice if you had a wing dust that was flavored that you could just season your wings with. So if I wanted Nashville hot, I could get Nashville hot. If you wanted salt and vinegar or garlic parmesan, so that was my next thing. We came up with wing dust, and I think now we have 12 flavors, 12 or 13 or 14 flavors, and yeah, it's my new favorite way to eat wings. Especially when I'm out, at a tailgate or something, because I don't got to go hit the shower, to get all the sauce off of me.
Yeah, I need a bib for they give you the alcohol wipes. I'm like, can I get the alcohol beach towel?
Yeah.
Sauce everywhere.
Yeah. We transitioned over into selling wing dust. We also got years later, we did release a line of, we do have a line of wing sauces that I think accompany the wing sauce or the wing dust well. We have a line of clean eating rubs. I believe there's 5 or 6 of them that are sugar free. There's no sugar in them. So if you're keto, paleo, or you're just wanting to, cut sugar out of your diet, we have those. This our latest thing is we've been launching our own accessories, grill brushes, gloves, sprayers, grill mats, chicken stands, and that has really been successful. And based inside of the Kosmo Q product family, it just all really goes nice.
Yeah. How's all right, I got a good zinger for you. How you feel about classical, like wood fire, smoke, and doing all that stuff versus like the Traegers?
Yeah,
I
that's a
feel
great
it.
question. That's a great question. And just so you know, I think I have probably the best answer that pisses somebody off or pisses nobody off.
All right.
Because I'm one of those guys. I have the best stick burner you could buy
Yeah.
in the world. Actually, I got 2 of them. And I also have a Traeger on my back porch, on my patio. So here's what. Short answer: I don't care. Like whatever you're going to use to get you out there cooking for your family and enjoying your friends and spending quality time with the people you love, I don't care.
Can you make it taste just as good either way?
I have won in competitions on a pellet cooker, and I've won on a stick burner. And I know guys in competition that can, beat the brakes off of you with a pellet cooker. And I know guys in competition that can beat the brakes off you with a stick burner. Are they different flavors? 100%.
Yeah.
100% they are. But it's, it goes back to what you like. And here's the way I see it. Are you one of those people that, you don't know that much? So the learning curve is far lower on a pellet cooker. I wish I'd had one when I got started. I had to learn fire management like at first. And most people don't know fire management. And then you have those, the people that say, if you're not using a stick burner, that's a microwave. And most of those people don't even know fire management for their stick burner, because I bake some of their food too. And it's, it's trash.
Yeah.
So if you don't know fire management or you don't want to learn fire management, I would say get you a pellet cooker, whatever you want. There's a bunch of them out there. And that's if that's your entry point, use it, learn it. And then because once you move to a stick burner, it's more hands-on. Now you have to run it, and now you have to understand the difference between lump charcoal, the difference between barbecue briquettes, the difference in wood. And most people think, well, my buddy Timmy chopped down a tree. No, you got to know what wood you can use, what wood you can't use. And even if your buddy Timmy chopped down a tree and you got all the free pecan you want, there's another question that 99.999% of all stick burners out there have no clue about. What's the moisture content of the wood?
Yeah.
I like to use between. I really don't like to go below 11, but 11 to 14. If I can hang around 12 to 13, that's but that's what I like to use.
Yeah. Doesn't burn too fast. Doesn't burn too slow.
Doesn't burn too fast. Doesn't burn too slow. So in my mind, which is better, I would say whatever you want to do to get your barbecue going.
All right. You heard it here, folks. Only on the Radcast. Cook it how you want it.
There you go.
I've got a Traeger at the lake, so I use it. But it's because of the lake. It's got to be quick and efficient, But I grew up around both, the wood-fired way and the Traeger way. But damn, it's pretty damn convenient on the Traeger, I got to admit.
Well, and here's what they don't get credit for. They have almost single-handedly exploded the barbecue industry here in America.
High tide raises all ships.
Yep, exactly.
What's your process for development? I mean, I've heard now we've brought the full arsenal out of rubs and sauces and wings and accessories, but so maybe focusing more on the food side of it. I'm sure you've got it down to a science now, but what is that journey? And you just have process for developing new ideas.
Usually I'm sitting around drinking, and
What we drinking?
got it, Jack.
All right, there we go. I'm a bourbon guy myself.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You should come by. You should come out to call it Club Kosmo.
Oh yeah, when I get to Oklahoma, I'm coming to Kosmo's house.
Oh yeah, for sure. But usually I'm sitting around, I'm sitting there going, like I have a thought in my head, and then I always try to say it to somebody to see how they react. And if they look at me and go, but if they look at me and they go, how the hell did you think of that? Then I go, okay, I'm onto something. Because and most people don't realize, it's so true in life. Humans are nothing but a animal that you can stop with the shiny thing. And that's in barbecue competition, that's what you want. You want them to take one bite and stop for a second and go, what was that? And the same way in the ad industry, you want them to stop and go, what was that?
Yep.
Well, in the same way, when I ask somebody a question, I'm looking for to stop you and intrigue your mind, and you go, what the heck is that? That's usually how I do it. I will say the majority of the time, it's products for me. Like, I don't know if you can see this. I can't see it.
Oh, yeah.
Like this is one that is not on the market. But I was sitting around and I was like, man, I sure would like some hot Cheetos wings. So I made some hot Cheetos wing dust.
What goes in hot Cheetos wing dust besides crumbled up Cheetos?
There's a lot of cheese, a lot of buttermilk, a couple spices, a little bit of zip,
Yeah.
a little bit of heat.
Okay.
But that's how I do it. That's the crazy thing is, like, I'll sit around and go, man, I want hot Cheetos wings. So I'll make it and go cook hot Cheetos wings. But I always sit there and I go, can I fool you? Can I fool you into thinking that this is really made with hot Cheetos?
Right.
And I'm just using that as an example. And that's when I know if I can fool you, then I'm sitting there going, okay, what else can I do with hot Cheetos wing dust? Can I put it on barbecue chips? Can I put it on popcorn? Can I put it on, on a quesadilla?
Hot dog.
And that's how my mind thinks.
Oh yeah. Multi-purpose. I like it.
Exactly.
I want some hot wing Cheetos. Dust. Come on, man. Ain't even hit the market yet. Is it gonna hit the market?
Yeah, at some point. I can't not.
Right.
I mean, obviously, I can't call it,
Hot wings, Cheetos,
I can't, because, and I don't want to, I'm a firm, like, I don't want to, step on anybody's toes.
No.
But, yeah, we'll
spicy, crunchy thing.
Yeah, spicy, crunchy thing that looks like a billy club.
So, from the brain of Cosmo to your table. It's not farm to table, friends. It's from Cosmo's brain to your table. That's the process.
There's a lot of room in my head too. It bounces around in there for a while.
What's where you want to take all this, man? I mean, you crossing over 50 million total in sales, growing new accessories. Like, what's the vision?
The vision for me is I want Cosmos Q to be widely sought after by every barbecue fanatic worldwide. And it's not that I need you to buy the product.
Sure.
It's the knowledge behind it. Like, I want to empower people to make great barbecue. Because I will say this: mostly men. It's shocking how many men go, "Oh no, I can't do that."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What the hell? Why can't you?" Well, I don't know how to do that. Well, I didn't either, you know. But if you could watch a couple videos, you know, and I could show you, would you do it? Well, yeah, but I don't know if I can still do it. Well, this is so I need to break down that wall. You can do this, you
Yeah.
know, even if it's a hot dog, you know, start there.
We're empowering people worldwide to barbecue. That's what I just
Bingo.
heard. Is what's the accessory road? I mean, you ever gonna develop your own grill?
I don't like saying never. I don't have any desire for that.
Yeah.
Just for you know, the supply chains and you
Yeah,
know,
right. Gets a little hairy.
right, and then just the space they make up, and you know, it would have to be. I would have to have a strategic partner
Yeah.
that you know
Just
was
using the
you
brand
know,
or something.
yeah,
I love it, man. Is how you're all in Oklahoma?
yeah, yeah. Well, we have some remote positions stretched out around the country.
Yep. Is where can people find all your stuff besides cosmosq.com?
We are in Ace Hardware. We have some products in Amazon, Shields, Bucky's. I don't know if you ever been to Bucky's.
Oh yeah, Bucky's.
Oh man.
That's cool. That's Bucky's is a vibe in of itself.
And you can obviously find us on cosmosq.com, KOSMOSQ.com. Did I say Amazon?
Yep.
You can find us on Amazon.
Just search
And,
for Cosmos Q. They'll
Yeah,
find you.
and if you want to find somebody close to you, on our website, up in the top right hand corner, we have a store finder. So it'll tell you the closest outlet to you.
Hey man, I've enjoyed this.
Well, thank you, man. Me too.
I want to let's stay in touch, and I got to give me some Cosmos Q now.
I'm gonna send you something. I'm gonna give you my email. You shoot me an email, and I got you. I'll take care of you.
Cool, man. Where can everybody find you on social media? That besides just search for Cosmos Q.
Cosmos Q. You can find us Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. Shit, that's all the ones I don't.
You got them all covered. That's cool, man. Well, I've really enjoyed it. Hey, guys, you know where to find us. We're at the radcast.com. You can search for Kosmo, Kosmo. You'll find all the highlight clips from today, even that Cheetos dust that's hidden behind the desk that nobody knows about. We'll show you some highlights from that. You know where I'm at Ryan Alford on Verified Armor Platforms. Go follow me on TikTok. I'm blowing up. We'll see you next time on the Radcast.